Welcome, welcome. My name is Ellen and I'm recording this little True News People's Treaty update from Ghanaland in Adelaide, South Australia, and just wanting to share a bit more information about People's Treaty and the COVID compliance exemption notice that we have written and made available as a template for people who are in standing with the truth at the heart of People's Treaty to be able to use to assert your rights as a free man or a free woman, to be able to go about your lives without having this COVID cult fraud being perpetrated against you. Because what we've got going on at the moment is people who do know what's going on and know that COVID is a fraud, complying in many cases with these violations of your human rights, masking yourself or submitting yourself to tests, or a woman that I know who knows exactly what's going on, quarantined herself. Like, people are out of their minds right now. People are insane right now, pretending that I don't know what's going on. People are living a lie, keeping up the false facade that everything's fine and going along with this COVID nonsense, even when you know that it's a fraud. It's sad enough with the, mind-controlled zombies that watch too much TV and are in a trance and actually are living in fear of the virus, thinking that it's real. So, that's sad, but the people that know the truth and are still participating, that's next level. And there's no need for it, because we've already got lawful remedy. We've already got the solution, and it's about coming together to stand in the truth, to acknowledge the truth, and to be speaking and communicating the truth with each other, which we can do verbally, in our communications directly, and we can do in written form to be able to help share the true news, both printed and digital. The more that we get the true news out to ourselves and each other, the sooner we can all be free. So I wanted to share the screen and just read the COVID compliance exemption notice so that you're conscious of, what it is, and be able to check with yourself. If you're able to actually come into standing with the truth at the heart of People's Treaty, then you can use this, and this is going to work for you reliably, consistently. It does for us, because it's true, and the truth has a power all of its own. But if you're not in standing with the truth, and you don't understand it, and you're not resonant, your heart's not in it, it's not going to work for you. Because if you're a fraud, then the truth isn't going to help you. The only way to actually be free is to come into standing with the truth. So with that in mind, I'm going to have a look for the screen to share. So this is here. So People's Treaty, where the decisions are made by the will of the people. COVID compliance exemption notice, where you can put in your own details, your name and your address. So I'm going to read you mine. You are hereby notified that I, Ellen Goods, living flesh and blood woman of soulful substance of 15 Muddy Road, Sand Creek, South Australia, we're on the public record, am exempt from all COVID-related control measures, mandates and directives being issued under any state or federal Emergency Powers Act or other related legislation. The corporation trading as the Australian Government, on request by we the people, have failed to provide any evidence of lawful sovereignty in this country. As a result, it has now been passed into the public record of we the people, who are in declared recognition of the one true and lawful sovereignty of the original First Nations of this country, First Nations people of this country, through our Living People's Treaty process, that the corporation trading as the Australian Government and all branches of state and local government and all other Commonwealth-related agencies are acting criminally against we the people in their false claims to jurisdiction and authority, in direct and ongoing violation of international law and the living law of this country. The evidence does not support the corporate government's claims of a public health emergency, and there is no honest or lawful jurisdiction for the COVID-related violations of our divinely gifted human rights to peace, privacy, free will, and self-determination. The criminal corporations posing as our governments are in truth not listening to, not loyal to, and not serving the honestly informed will and best interests of we people. They are in fact agents of a foreign power serving the interests of the international banking cartel as registered securities on the US stock exchange. They're taking their directions from the centralised hierarchy of human herd control, who have declared their plans for mass depopulation and are conducting the deliberately engineered COVID fear campaign. Well, hang on, I lost my place. The deliberately engineered COVID fear campaign as an act of psychological, biological, and economic warfare against we the people. Any individual who participates in or in any way perpetuates, enables, or enforces any COVID-related control measures upon or against their fellow man, woman, or child is complicit in genocidal occupation and is liable for prosecution in our people's international proceedings for truth and justice. The international proceedings are being held publicly, and the names of all those found to be complicit in this ongoing act of treachery against your fellow countrymen will be published as a matter of permanent public record. Any individual identified as being complicit in the ongoing COVID fraud and genocidal occupation of this country is also personally liable to be charged with damages and have your personal assets seized and redistributed to your victims as compensation. In order to protect your own integrity and your estate in standing with the true and only lawful sovereignty of we the people in this country and declared living treaty with the original First Nations people, you are hereby instructed to cease and desist any and all participation in the COVID fraud or any other activity or measure directed by the criminal corporate governments of Australia that in any way cause harm, loss or hardship or violate the human rights to peace, privacy and self-determination of your fellow man. United we stand. Now's the time for truth, peace, unity and freedom for us all. If you wish to persist in your participation in the COVID fraud, you are now knowingly electing to be prosecuted in our people's international proceedings against the genocidal occupation of this country, and you're required to supply your name, address and contact details upon request by your victims. Anything you say to perpetuate the COVID fraud can be recorded and documented and used as evidence against you in these proceedings. We the people trust you will choose to stand with us in honour and truth and declare your own standing in unity with us for we the free people of this country in respect and recognition of the sovereignty of the original First Nations people and the living law of this land by People's Treaty Online. In truth, we the honestly informed people of this country. If you require further information, please visit www.peoplestreaty.online written by Land or Marshal Dylan Wilson. So we've got the tools to end this ridiculous facade right now. We've already got it. I'm just going to stop sharing screen. So clinging on to the fraud in any facet, holding on to that fraud and continuing to participate in it and pretend that you don't know the truth is only holding that facade in place and allowing the crimes to continue. So the sooner we come together in truth, the sooner we can end the evil and we can focus all of our shared energy, our collective energy and creative resourcefulness on solutions and turning everything around for ourselves and each other. You know, the vision for me is still heaven on earth, peace on earth for all people and a beautiful, safe world for our children to be free to play and explore and realise their divine and natural human potential. Why are we settling for less than that? Why are we allowing ourselves to be ruled over by predators? Why are we allowing police to roam around in packs harassing and attacking people over masks or not signing in. Like, we're in a bloody nightmare of a concentration camp right now, and people are being attacked and harassed that are not causing anyone any harm. They're just going about their private business, not causing anyone any harm, and they're being attacked and threatened and fined, and people even being locked up for no mask. Like, the most ridiculous rubbish is passing as normal. And meanwhile, the child trafficking through the DCP continues, business as usual. They're still stealing children and holding children in the system where they're being abused by pedophiles. You know, we've still got parliamentary suppression orders and court suppression orders hiding the identity of high-profile pedophiles that are holding positions of power. Why is anyone listening to these criminals? It's insane, and it's got to stop. And we've got lawful remedy. It's about coming into standing with the truth and then coming to be part of our, collective conversation as a whole united human family to work out what is the honestly informed will of we the people here in this country, in full recognition and respect of the lawful sovereignty of the First Nations. And the First Nations people really have been waiting with such patience and such grace for us idiots. And we are stupid people, the rest of us, honestly. Like, our lack of respect and stupidity knows no bounds. They've been waiting for us to just wake up and realise, what's actually going on and how insane this system is that's been systematically destroying them and their culture and stealing their children and incarcerating all of their people, men and women, who know that they're free and know that this fraud is a criminal system trying to suppress them and oppress them. When they express their true spirit, this system labels them as criminals in their own country and locks them up. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and it's got to stop. So we all need to come together, talk truth, and be the conscious, loving co-creators to make our own solutions now. No more being dictated to by this powerful few. The true power belongs to we the people, and it's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to talk truth and to end this evil together now, so that we can be real world free, self-governing, and co-create heaven on earth. Now's the time.